हेलो एंड वेलकम टू येट अनदर एपिसोड ऑफ मुंबई से मैनचेस्टर। मैं हूं निखिल, मेरे साथ है सौरभ। और इस वीडियो में हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं सोल्जर के मिडफील्ड ऑप्शंस के बारे में। सिंस वैंडरबीक और ब्रूनो आए हैं टीम में गए साल में, सोल्जर के पास क्वालिटी ऑप्शंस बढ़ चुके हैं। और हम देखने वाले वीडियो में ये मिडफील्डर्स कौन से कैटेगरी में गिरते हैं। सो लेट्स गो अहेड सौरभ।
सो एक फुटबॉल पिच पे सेंटर बैक से लेके स्ट्राइकर तक देर आर वेरियस डिफरेंट पोजीशंस एक मिडफील्डर ऑक्यूपाई करता है. Let's look at some of the familiar faces who have filled these positions over the years. So Wayne Rooney का example ले लो. He was not an out and out striker. He was more of an attacking number 10 who could play as an out and out striker or a second striker. So most of his career, Wayne Rooney was slightly behind the number 9 या false 9 type role खेलता था या eventually he transitioned into a more of an attacking midfielder. Thomas Muller का example देखोगे तो he evolved from a right winger to a striker to now a second striker or a number 10 in a more attacking sense of the word. Then you have players like Isco, जो classic number 10 है, who is a midfielder and not a second striker, but contributes to the attacking play. Kevin De Bruyne was more of a number 10, but last 2 seasons he has had to take up some more of the box-to-box responsibilities. So you will see him more of a combination of a number 10 to a number 8. Christian Eriksen, classic example है. Creative है वो, creative input काफी है. He is with the ball at his feet, he is more of a number 10. Without the ball at his feet, he is more of a number 8. You will see Eriksen mostly at the edge of the box, very rarely वो box के अंदर जाता है. So he is more of a creative midfielder. And then we come to Gerrard and Kante. These are the quintessential box-to-box midfielders. And Gerrard is slightly on the attacking side. उसका attacking output काफी ज़्यादा था. And Kante is the midfield destroyer, but he's not a defensive midfielder. He's still a box-to-box midfielder. Then we get into a slightly defensive midfielder zone, जहाँ पे Frankie De Jong, Ajax और Barcelona के लिए he plays the holding midfielder role. Similar to Busquets, he defined the number 6 position, holding midfielder in a shield in front of the defense खेलता था. And then as you move towards the right hand side, you have almost defensive midfielders who play like the third center back. So Mascherano, Fernandinho, Javi Martinez, ये सब they at times almost fill in between the center backs.
Right.
Now that we have seen the spectrum of what roles a midfielder plays, we are going to plot अपने midfielders कहाँ पे यहाँ पे fit करता है. Now हम लोग midfielders एक एक देखेंगे तभी the color green denotes the attacking ability of the player, the color red denotes the defensive ability of the player. Thick box जो आएगा that will tell what the preferred position is for the player. And then there is a breadth of positions that the player can play, but they might not be a specialist at that position. So let's start with Bruno Fernandes. So Bruno Fernandes, since joining Manchester United, has played the number 10 role. Ye season especially, he has turned more into a supporting striker or a second striker role. And his numbers tell you that. So right now, I would put him somewhere between a Muller and Isco, जहाँ पे he is always there as a supporting striker and supplying our forward lines with passes and also contributing to goals. However, उसका अगर broad line देखोगे, when he was at Sampdoria, he started more as a defensive midfielder. Then he turned into a box-to-box midfielder, and then Sporting Lisbon के लिए he started playing more of that number 10 role. So उसका spectrum काफी wide है. So अगर बहुत ज़्यादा injuries होते हैं या later in his career, he probably can switch to a more box-to-box or a defensive midfielder in the future. अभी देखते हैं पॉल पॉग्बा को. So पॉल पॉग्बा को आप अगर देखोगे तो for Juventus and early on in Solskjaer's reign, he played more as an attacking midfielder. So उसका attacking ability is tremendous, but उसका defensive ability we have seen in flashes for France and for Juventus at some points, जहाँ पे वो box to box या defensive midfield भी खेलता था. इसके लिए Solskjaer has also put him in a 4-2-3-1 in a second holding position. But we think that Pogba ka position is the best in a more creative role, not necessarily as a number 10, but as a creative midfielder, someone who is between your number 8 and number 10. Now let's look at Van der Beek. So जब भी हम लोग ने Van der Beek sign किया था, we knew that he was going to fill in either Pogba or Bruno's role in a rotational position. Now that we've seen more of him, let's analyze his positioning. So जब भी Van der Beek attacking midfielder के role में खेलता है, he is more of a classic number 10 या De Bruyne या Eriksen type number 10 है वो. He is not he's not a he's not a supporting striker kind of a role. So Bruno का जब भी replacement होता है, he's still a little more withdrawn. इतना ज़्यादा attacking output नहीं रहता है. But on the other hand, उसका defensive ability and work rate is quite high. So जैसे हम लोग ने इस्तांबुल के against देखा, he was playing alongside Fred in a more box to box or almost like a defensive or a holding midfielder role, and he played that role brilliantly. So उसका range काफी wide है. He can fill into that midfield too, and he can be that third midfielder providing the attacking impetus. जब भी फ्रैंकी डियोंग बार्सिलोना को गया था, तभी for 6 to 8 months he actually filled out the number 6 or the defensive midfielder role at Ajax. So we know that he can also play that holding midfielder role. Fred is the closest thing that we have right now to a dynamic box-to-box midfielder. So ये अपना specialized box-to-box midfielder है, जो energy लाता है, pressing ability लाता है, who contributes a lot defensively. If you see here, attacking output इतना ज़्यादा नहीं है उसका, which can get better, but he is the energy or the dynamite in our midfield right now. McTominay को देखोगे तो he is slightly further behind in terms of attacking ability as compared to Fred. So as McTominay goes towards from a defensive midfield or a box-to-box midfield towards the attacking midfielder role, uska qualities diminish hota hai. But we have seen McTominay at times fill in the center back role, and at most times fill the defensive midfielder role. So he's more that defensive shield in front of the midfield, in front of the defense. And Nemanja Matic, lastly. Matic, at the peak of his career, you could have defined him more of a box-to-box or someone who can play both box-to-box and a defensive midfielder. But as of now, Nemanja Matic is firmly a defensive midfielder. So he is that single person shield that can flip back into or who can switch back in the center back position as well, and can hold a defensive shape here. So as you see, अपने छह midfield options हम लोग ने यहाँ पे plot किए हैं, and although there are similarities, these are not really interchangeable. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि no two midfielders are completely alike each other. There is a broad range, and based on injuries and suspensions, or this is going to be a long season, we'll have to keep rotating these midfielders. But when we rotate, we need to understand their strengths and weaknesses and use them in the most optimal manner.
Right. So that's it from us, guys. Do let us know what you think about the analysis. Do share your comments. अगर आपको लगता है कि Pogba का range as a specialist is something different, or any of these 6 midfielders, do share that with us. And we hope that you still like the content that we are making. Do let us know what other topics you would like us to make videos on. Thank you. Bye.